Have you ever stood in line for the printer or bubble tea, let your eyes wander, and thought to yourself, what even happens over there? Because it's actually a lot. If you've ever walked past us in the basement and wondered what secrets lie behind those wall-to-floor windows, this video is for you. And even if you've never once thought about us, you've probably stood on the main floor of the Student Center at least a time or two. But have you ever stopped to consider that there's an entire music ecosystem flourishing beneath your feet? Have you ever stopped to consider how it works for you? If you haven't, here's 5 things we do. Number 1, we allow students to host their own podcasts. Here's a short list of some things we have here: an on-air booth, a recording studio, a music library filled with thousands of CDs and records, and a website where we post podcasted episodes of all of our shows. Now, what's all of that for? It's for McMaster students and community members to host their own radio broadcast and podcast all in one for free. If a student has a solid show application and it gets accepted, they can just start. Recording fees can add up, and it can be very hard to build an audience for a new podcast, but a McMaster student host doesn't have to worry about any of that. It's just them, their show, and their hundreds of built-in listeners. And we have some incredible Mac student hosts here. Whether it's an exploration of video game news and commentary or popular science that you're after, you're bound to find something you'll love by your fellow students. Number 2, we provide a platform to those that don't always have one. You know what the great thing about CFMU not being commercially funded is we don't have to represent commercial interests. And that shines through in a core part of our mandate, amplifying the voices that aren't always heard on commercial radio. It also means giving small grassroots organizations, businesses, and not-for-profits in the Hamilton area promotion both on air and through our 60 Seconds of CFMU video series. Finally, it means giving local indie musicians and bands radio airplay and promotion through our Top 5 and Artist Sketch series. Some of these are even Mac student musicians and bands. It wouldn't do to forget that once upon a time, the Arkells had their very first interview right here at CFMU. Overall, we give independent McMaster and Hamilton arts and initiatives promotion because we believe in their potential. Number 3, we act as a cultural gateway to the city. Our coverage on local artists, events, not-for-profits, and change-makers in Hamilton doesn't just benefit them, but our audience as well. Putting yourself out there into the Hamilton community can be confusing and intimidating, especially for new students. Figuring out what events are happening, where they're happening, and what they're all about can be challenging, whether you're hoping to have some fun or make a difference. So why not let us do the work for you? At CFMU, you can get to know the people behind Hamilton's events, not-for-profits, local businesses, and organizations, what they're all about, and how to get involved directly from the source. Number 4, we create success for students. We all know it, even if we don't always say it. The job market is tough, especially for our generation. It's a common gripe that entry-level jobs require experience and the industry is very difficult to break into. For students with career aspirations, especially in music, journalism, audio production, and broadcasting, CFMU can and does help with that. Not only is there the potential to get a job working at CFMU in one of these fields, but for our student volunteers, hosting a podcast, writing for our website, or working in our audio production studio are all great on a resume. It shows communication skills, dedication to a given topic, and can even land you a more permanent position in your dream field. We have a whole collection of CFMU alum success stories that prove it. Number 5, we're good for student listeners. Even if you never set foot in CFMU, our programming is still valuable to you. Our student-focused shows keep you up to date on Mac news and research, and even offer helpful tips from guests like the Student Success Center. All of that in podcast format. Pretty convenient for listening while studying. And our multicultural shows, broadcast in a diverse range of languages, are perfect for staying connected to your language and culture, even away from home. Even if that 1 hour doesn't mean much to you, it does to someone else. So, we don't just play music. We're committed to amplifying the voices of McMaster and Hamilton. We're committed to creating opportunities for those that don't always get them. And every day, we do our part to support that mission. So, the next time you're standing in the Student Center, remember that there is a whole world beneath your feet. And consider stopping by. We'd love to meet you.